Hello and welcome to IBTimes TV. I'm Leanna Brinded, Business Editor for the International Business Times. Joining me now is Simon Tucker. He's the CEO of Software Radio Technology. So hi, thanks for joining us today.
Morning.
So talking about marine and the shipping industry, could you just put it into context just how large the sector is?
Well, 98% of what you buy in the stores has come across the sea by one of 26 million vessels. I think people look at the British Channel and think there's only a few hundred boats. Around the world, you have 8 million fishing vessels, you have 16 million leisure vessels. So you're talking about a huge market that's important to everybody.
One of the biggest pieces of, I suppose, non-economic news to hit the headlines recently is that tanker collision. Could you explain to us what exactly happened there?
Well, one of the big risks, obviously, in the ocean is there aren't lanes like on the M4, so everybody's free to go where they want to go. What happened there was two vessels got in the same lanes. I think somebody on the bridge probably ignored one of the many warning signs which are provided by technology such as AIS, and as you can see from the video, they start to take evasive action right at the last minute and unfortunately collided and one sunk.
Could you maybe explain a little bit more about the types of technology that's available on vessels like these to give warning signs, and of course how to safeguard the industry as a whole?
Yes, well 10 years ago the International Maritime Organization decided that shipping was of considerable economic concern to the globe and therefore started to track everything over 300 tons using a technology called AIS. And so today every vessel that you see over 300 tons, which is quite a big ship, is being tracked by this technology which uses GPS, and it transmits its identity and position to all the other boats in the area and back to authorities. And increasingly around the world now, authorities are recognizing the benefit of being able to track boats globally and know where they are and what they're doing, and use that information to then find out what happened. As in the case of the Japanese ship collision, they can now look back on it instantly within hours of that happening and see exactly where that happened and why that happened, and take action.
There seems to be a lot of radical developments in terms of this form of technology. Compared to the aviation industry, do you think there's some things that people can learn from the marine sector on this form of technology, especially in light of the missing Malaysian Airlines, and no one knows where it is still? No,
I think the short answer to the question is yes, and the technology exists today to track everything around the globe, minute by minute. So that's already being done in vessels. We in fact received a large order yesterday for some fishing vessels, thousands and thousands of them to be tracked, and that could be done on airplanes immediately, and you would know where those airplanes are at all times across the world.
When it comes to future developments within this form of technology, what can be better improved, or what kind of projects are in the pipeline at the moment?
Well, it's really migrating across the 26 million boats. Thus far, this particular technology, AIS, which is developed by the International Maritime Organization, has really only been required on the larger vessels. What's now happening is they're getting them onto smaller vessels, fishing vessels in the Middle East, Asia. For example, all European fishing vessels, as of 31st of May this year, must have an AIS transponder. That means they are tracked every 30 seconds. Their identity and their location and what they're doing is known to the authorities.
Where do you see like the pockets of opportunity in terms of what you guys do? Because as you said, some of it the technology that needs to be implemented on the boats will be under regulation, but do you see other areas that you could tap into at the moment?
Well, of the 26 million boats worldwide, only about 300,000 have thus far fitted AIS. AIS is a pretty new technology, only out for the last 10 years. I think the opportunities for us as a company are global. I mean, you have the US coming up with mandates, you have fishing vessels in Asia, you have the use of the technology for pollution tracking, fisheries control. There's a whole range of different opportunities. And what I would clarify is this technology isn't something that we invented, it's something that was developed by an international committee, and this is being mandated irrelevant of us. We are simply a player in that market, albeit an important one.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for your interest.
And that was Simon Tucker. He's the CEO of Software Radio Technology.